Hey handbag lovers, have you heard the latest scandal? Now, I ran across this on Instagram. I have no idea if it's true or not. So right now, let's just say it's alleged. But there is a scandal involving an Hermès employee selling bags under the guise that they were Hermès bags from a secret employee portal. So this is so juicy. Okay, handbag lovers, lean in. I know that you know the Hermès game. Not everyone knows the Hermès game. You've got to buy plates and scarves and lipsticks and auxiliary things before you are offered a bag. This is a big deal to some people, so much so that Hermès has had a class action lawsuit filed against them, have been accused of antitrust, jeopardizing, fooling the customer into buying things in the hopes of being offered the ever-elusive Birkin or Kelly or Mini Kelly. So to some of you guys, this is a really, really big deal to be selected for a quota bag. And of course, there's other ways around it. Like you can go to Fashion File, you can go to a consignment shop and find the bag without having to play the game. Some people think that's cheating. You don't feel as special as if being selected and called by your sales associate, we have the bag. I find this very interesting because, of course, there is so much psychology behind the shopping of luxury goods. It's not just about the bag, it's about the feeling, the status, the perceived status, the accolades, the floating in the cloud feeling that you get for having a quota bag. Let's get into the story. Now, I only found one source, which is Privé Porter, is the only article I have found out here. So I'm not going to name any names because all of this is still alleged. And this happened at the Hermès boutique in Troy. I guess Troy is a division of Detroit, which is a fairly new store. It didn't open until 2021. And according to this article, I'm not going to say the name of the assistant manager because if it's not true, that wouldn't be fair. Now, there's so many levels that this article does not describe. So as a former employee for Louis Vuitton, you know, first of all, customers come in and they build a relationship with the store managers or the sales associate. So this alleged assistant manager is building the relationship back. He is a trusted part of the boutique. Why wouldn't he be? He works for Hermès. He is actually an assistant manager, as the article alleges. So obviously somebody that the clients would put their trust in. Now, how many clients? It wasn't like 3 or 4. It was allegedly 37. Sorry if I say allegedly too much, but it was 37 customers according to this article. But wait, that is so wild on so many levels because also it says he had an accomplice. I don't know if that accomplice was an employee of the boutique as well or someone related, but you know, you might try to sneak 1 or 2, but 37, and when I say like try to sneak, maybe you have a really special customer that you're like, okay, I'm gonna offer you my employee discount or something like that. But when you have 37, I mean, someone has got to squeak. What he claimed was that he had an employee portal. Yes, he claimed that he was giving them a link to an employee-only shopping portal. I think most people know that Hermès does not discount bags. Most people, though. I do know that not everybody knows this. If you don't know about handbags and Hermès, they assume you can just walk into an Hermès and buy a bag. Even if they're luxury shoppers from other brands, they just assume I can just walk in and buy a bag. So, you know, he could have maybe frauded customers like that were just like so unassuming. Like, oh, okay, well, there's a discount portal, sure. Or it could have been customers who were playing the Hermès game so close, like you're so close, just buy $30,000 more of stuff, who he might have seen an opportunity of, they might take the bait if I just dangle this carrot and say, you can just get a bag right now. So it's astonishing because did he think it would not come back around? Now, this isn't just fraud. This, I believe, would be prison time, not just jail time, not just a fine and a slap on the wrist. But I have no idea. So now I'm not saying like if you fell for this, you're stupid or dumb or anything. It just like brings up so many questions of how did all of this happen? A few years ago, my friend, a good friend of mine worked for Prada, and he did actually give me a legit link for a Prada friends and family sale. So if I were not really familiar with Hermès, you know, someone like me would have thought, oh, well, there's a link. Sure, I will shop from it because it's from an Hermès employee. And trust me, there are customers out there now, I know because I used to work for Vuitton, and I have friends and family that love to shop. They really think there are discount ways to purchase Vuitton. Honestly, sometimes it's because they're so desperate for that logo, and it's almost like it's so out of the reach that if they're presented an opportunity that seems reasonable, it would be like, oh, is that how people get their Vuittons? Okay. I have come across this on eBay when, not eBay, Facebook Marketplace, when I would see people list Chanel's or Vuittons. And I remember there was this one incident where I asked her for the some proof. And she said, oh, she sent me a receipt of a Gucci bag. I'm like, but that's not this bag. So she sent me the serial number on the card that's inside the bag. And I just Googled that number, and it came up as like, this is the serial number, the card that people use when they're trying to sell you a fake Chanel. So I immediately showed her that, and she blocked me instantly. So they know what they're doing. But like, say someone with less experience than me, and trust me, they're out there. They want to believe, oh, I can get this at that price. We'll fall for anything. I mean, let's just start with that. These bags are grossly overpriced, in my opinion. I know not everyone agrees with that. It plays on your mind. There's a lot of psychology involved. Anyways, okay, so there's an actual lawsuit, Mobarek versus Hermès, with the plaintiff being Ali Mobarek, and like I said, I won't say the defendant's names, but defendant is also including Hermès Inc., even though it looks like Hermès has nothing to do with it. It was the employee. They did not know their employees were involved in this scandal, and there have been other Hermès scandals in the past involving Hermès employees. I made a video about that as well, and I'll touch on that too. It says the buyers were instructed to pay privately, so not at the boutique, through the back door, and that the bags were delivered outside of the boutique. He could have been saying, I'm giving you my employee discount, but I can't let my boss know. So we'll do it out the back door. It says they probably found out their bags were fake when they tried to sell to Fashion File or Rebag, okay, which is common. I have relationships with consignment shops. I've seen those customers straight from the Hermès boutique, and here they are, brand new bag and like orange shopping bag in their hand. It's like so fresh, and they're like, here you go. Here you go. Because people who have that status, who are called for the first mini Kelly, they buy that bag and immediately go to resell it because it is worth a lot of money on the resale market. It helps other people to avoid the whole Hermès status game to get the bag, okay? So I'm sure 37 people, somebody just saw, oh, well, I'll just buy it and resell it, just like a Ticketmaster ticket. Buy it here and then resell it here. Okay, anyways, it says, well, Hermès is named in the lawsuit. It's unlikely that the company had any role yet to be determined. And that's all that the article states. So somebody did ask me in the comments, how can employees ensure that fraudulent items are not being returned? And that has been a huge issue. I have heard at places like TJ Maxx. Yes, TJ Maxx. I have seen some stores like TJ Maxx or Saks off Fifth, for example, or is it Saks off Broadway, off Fifth, have like a trunk show where they might have a section of Rebag, the company that consigns. They might have a section there of older Louis Vuittons and stuff, and someone might buy it and then return it to a TJ Maxx employee who is not, like, has no idea. No idea they're returning the wrong bag. bink, bink, scan the receipt and the fake tag, and it's back. I actually just read an article about a lady who was doing this, and she defrauded TJ Maxx of something like $500,000. Now, if they go back to the boutique, I have been out of there long enough that I don't know. At the time that I worked there, we needed the manager's approval to accept the return. So that would mean my eyeballs and a manager's eyeballs to make sure it was indeed one of ours. At the time, I didn't know that a super fake existed. It had always crossed my mind because of the amount of returns that we would get, but we never ran into an incident where that actually had happened. With technology, there are quite a few AI programs, or at least two that I can think of, where you can authenticate the bag with your phone. I'll link those below as well. Now, authentication is a third-party service. There are no authenticators in Vuitton, Hermès, Chanel, Tiffany. The only way you would know you're holding a non-boutique bag, and that's what they would say, this is not from Vuitton, if it were some reason passed by the associates and sent to repair, and they would send it back with a green ticket that says this is not one of ours. And like I said, there never came that incident where any one of us would spot a fake unless it was like a real fake, like bad looking fake. I only remember once this gal was holding, it was like, it had a busted zipper. It was a Palm Springs mini. And it was clearly like, that's definitely not ours. I mean, someone who didn't work there would probably think it was a Vuitton product. But for us, because we know what it looks like, we're like, yeah, that's definitely not ours. And not only that, she didn't have a receipt, and she was trying to use her aunt's name, saying, oh, this is so-and-so gave it to me, because she knew that person shopped at Vuitton. Okay, well, we're allowed to look at that person's record and see, oh yeah, she didn't buy at Palm Springs. We're not allowed to share that info. We knew what she was trying to do. She was trying to like name drop, like, yeah, this person shops here. So we can go, oh yeah, this person shops here. But anyway, she was trying to get the zipper repaired to which it was denied right away. Anyways, any other notable lawsuits, scandals involving Hermès? Just last year, a class action was filed by by some customers in San Francisco who claimed that they kept spending and spending, but never were offered a bag. And their case has been denied twice now, which just brings up so many questions. Like, is it that serious? But then again, if they felt like they were duped into spending an exorbitant amount of money to never get to a goal, oh, I don't know. Would you sue? Now, the other case involving Hermès, and this was like, I think discovered in 2011 and case closed in 2016, was an actual Hermès ring of employees who were making bags on the side after hours using Hermès materials, tools, stamps, and everything. So in that case, is it really a fake Hermès bag? They knew exactly the supply chain and where to get it. So are there other people floating around who know exactly the supply chain and where to get it and how to make this bag? Yes, of course they are. And are there people who knowingly buy counterfeit bags? Yes, there are. But where the line needs to be drawn is you do not tell people that this is an authentic when it is not an Hermès from the boutique. That is clearly taking advantage of people's, what is it called? Their desires, I want to say their emotion, to earn a piece of Hermès. So anyways, I am going to be watching if there's any more to the story. The fact that this is a lawsuit only and has not been reported as an arrest. So I'm kind of curious of what the story really is, and I will definitely keep my eyes peeled and keep you posted. So let me know in the comments, is Hermès still the status symbol that many handbag lovers thought it was, or are we over it? Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you guys so much for joining. Bye.